welcome.
Let's next jump to our next speaker, Annabelle Raj. She also, again, someone from fitness industry, and they also an entrepreneur, I believe. I think she's been doing a lot of classes, and I believe she also have a studios and everything. So, and her topic is quite very, very interesting also today. It's about self-love. And I believe this is also another part of passions, you looking after yourself. And sometimes, and maybe this is a pandemic that taught us a lot. Of course, being home, being not moving around and everything, and we're not spending so much on vacations and other things. Maybe we start spending so much on ourselves. People are trying to get classes to make them feel happy, become better, and of course, I'm talking as well as in the psychological need and well-being as well, because I'm in that industry as well, and we are seeing a lot of people are struggling on that part too. And I believe self-love is another topic that really, really important to everyone look into and then take consideration. So without further ado, let's welcome Annabelle. How are you, Annabelle?
Hi. I'm good. Thank you, Aruna. And
Thank
I want to say
you.
thank you so much for having me here. And among the beautiful ladies, amazing ladies here. Okay, let me start first. My name is Annabelle, and I'm a sport and fitness instructor. Okay, well, I didn't start as a sport and fitness instructor. I'm just like Ellie. I started with finance. I have a background of finance. Started off that, but I was a runner in school, so I love sport. I'm a 100-meter runner, so I started off that way. And I always been in fitness, passion with fitness. And when I was working in finance, I also go and enroll myself with classes. And those days was like aerobic class.
Yeah,
Those was the days because I am 38 years old.
doesn't look one, so yes.
So those days is like aerobics. So we didn't have like, Zumba, and we didn't have like dance classes those days. It was like step board, and that sort of classes that I used to attend. And as I was going through that, I had a lot of interest. And after work, I will go and attend the classes, every 3 times a week. And I took care of myself. And that was how was it. And that was like how Edie said, the passion was always in fitness. I knew that, something that I love to do. And, I agree so much with Ellie because she said that, you just have to move where you want to move. And, that that's where you belong.
Back
So
home.
that's where that's how I felt. I felt that's where I belong. But of course, I don't have zero background in fitness. Just attending classes, just doing everything that just following the instructors. That's what I did. And of course, I started attending classes, and after that, what happened was I had to help a friend of mine who was opening a local gym in his finance actually. And I went in there to help them finance and all the documents and all that. And of course they were opening the fitness, and that's I was so excited about it. As I was helping them, I also managed to able to take some courses. So I started off as a dance fitness instructor. I took my first Zumba instructor certificates, and then after that the second certificate and group exercise and so on. But it was just a paper. I was keeping it because I was was so passionate to dance and all that. And that's where I realized, okay, I have the papers, why don't I teach. So I quit the job. Surprise. Just like I quit the job. That was a huge thing, a huge like turnaround, 100% turnaround of myself from finance to fitness. And I went to KL and met with a lot of other instructors, did a lot of classes, learned a lot of things from a lot of people around in the dance industry. And yeah, that's where I started my sport and fitness. But I'm also a person who went through some issues with medical issues as well. I'm an IVF patient. I've been in IVF and infertility procedure for almost 14 years. So yeah, so that's where the topic comes in actually. So because I had a background of infertility for 14 years and 4 years in IVF procedures, and still going through some medical conditions as well. And it's ongoing. It's never like it's not going to end. But I was thinking, what can I do about it? Because I felt that it's not always about how you feel about yourself, but it's always about what happens to you and how you overcome that feelings. So that's where I started to look into deeper into how am I going to handle this issue that I have. Do I have to look at it as negative, or do I have to use it as something as positive and reach out? So I started off after my last IVF was 2020, which was last year, and so it was very short period of time. It's not so long. But I'm also a depressed, went through depression and stress patient as well, due to the background of my IVF, because it took a toll on me. Physically, I also gained weight and lost weight. I've been obese for 2 times, and then mainly because of the medical reasons. So my side of the weight gain was totally because medical. So I couldn't accept being a fitness person, and you got to endure that. It's not a choice, but it was something that had to go through. You don't get a choice to choose whether unless if you don't have a medical condition, then you are able to work on yourself. But when you are restricted 100% from doing what you're doing due to the medical reasons, that's when I felt overwhelmed, depressed, and a lot of feelings that I couldn't explain myself. And I felt that I knew to eat well, I knew how to exercise, I knew how to do everything, but end up nothing was working. So I had to turn around the whole plate 360 degrees to see where I can work on myself. So self-love is something very dear to me. Reason why is because, like I said, due to my medical reason and IVF itself, I'm not sure about the support team, but I'm considered as unexplainable infertility. So until now, they couldn't find out what is the reason what I'm going through, and been through with a lot of doctors over the 14 years, still going through doctors after doctors. And so when you say unexplainable, there's always a question mark there. You always want to find out, you are in search, you know. I mean, if you know what is it, then you can know what is the next action. Am I right? So, but you don't know what is it, you are actually like blind leading a blind. So that's how I felt. I just felt, what can I do about it? So I went back to see if I can't change something, I had to look into myself. So self-love is what now currently self-love is in the social media. It's a hot topic. Everybody speaks about it. Everybody hashtag it. It's in the social media all the time. And when I started self-love, I thought self-love was bubble bath, shopping, and then all the things materialistic. And I'm not wrong. That's great. It's nothing wrong about it. But what I felt was self-love was more deeper in a sense of maybe of my background, I would say. I mean, because I can go and shop, I can go for a bubble bath, I do whatever it is, but it wasn't working. You know, I felt that something else is missing. So I went and went into more deeper to find out it was more on how you feel internally. That's when I felt that self-love is more internal than outwards. I mean, outward is great, but it's more on internal part. So I started to look into the the internal part, the feeling and emotions beside your body, your spirit, and your mind, all these three have to be balanced. So when I have the fitness knowledge, when I have the nutrition knowledge, but the inner mind and spirit part, I had to dive in. So I dived in. I mean, it was not easy. It was the most toughest thing to dive in to feel that emotions when you break down and very disappointed, about a lot of frustration. Yeah, frustration. Because again and again you meet failures. That's why perseverance is amazing, because you don't get any result. Like myself, I never got a result. It's again and again is the same result, negative, you know. So that's where I felt like, what else do I should preserve? Go on? Yes. Why not? As long as you can, go on, you know. So where I felt that this is what I need to do. So I did few things when it comes to self-love. First thing, I spoke kind words to myself. I mean, we don't really do that, you know. We don't really speak kind words sometimes. I mean, we are the biggest, you know, um, we say things to ourselves like, oh, I should have done this better. This term is more on when I went through an IVF, when it was a negative result. I always looked at myself and think I should have been more attentive. I should have known about the procedure even better, or I should have been even careful, you know, very careful about my movements, that kind of things. So it was very intense when you go through the procedure. So, and I didn't get any supporting. I didn't have someone to, lift me up or a counseling or nothing. I just have to pick up my pace and move. So, and speaking kind actually helped me because you saw how harmful is it when you keep saying, I should have done this. Oh, I should have walked carefully. I'm talking my experience. And oh, why is the procedure not working? I should have made some mistake along the way. So scary kind of feeling I had. So when I speak kind to myself, the thing that I told was, situation is difficult, Anna, but you will go through it. You will pull it through. I mean, acknowledging the situation is such that I can't change that situation. So you will pull it through. So that is the first thing I keep telling myself, like something that I keep telling. Situation, I acknowledge the situation is difficult, the procedure is difficult, the whole thing is difficult, but you will pull it through, you can handle it. So without any psychology background, nothing, I had to do that. That when I met Aruna from the mental resilience, then I heard all of you. It was so amazing. It brought tears to my heart. I literally cried after listening to the whole section. So it spoke my heart. You spoke. Everybody spoke my heart along the way. And that's where I told myself, yeah, kind words to ourselves. We don't we sometimes we very fast to blame ourselves. I mean, we think that we should have done this better, so the result will be better, but not necessary. With my experience
Agree in many
over
ways.
and over again of failure, so it's not necessary. It has to happen. It happened. So that's the first thing I did. And then the second thing, I learned to be grateful. Despite of what I was going through, I tend to, I mean, many people have, grateful, and then gratitude journals, and they have these journals that they wrote down, what they are happy about and all that. That is awesome. That's fabulous. That's what you should be doing. But even when I was doing that, I wasn't getting where I was supposed to get. So I was telling everybody says you must have gratitude journal and so on. So what is that is missing? So that's when I thought of, replace complaint to an habit of gratitude. I stopped complaining. I just stopped. Because if I started to complain, I'm just going to go on and uh, and stop me from moving forward. Because it's just going to me telling, oh, you know what? This is my situation. Why am I born like this? Why should I go through this? You know? And that kind of self-blaming, self-pity was just diving into me. So I was like, stop complaining. And, just look at it that if I complain, actually I regard all the good things to come inside me. I stop things to come. I stop to move forward because I'm always looking into the situation as well. So I just said, okay, be grateful. And then I did this. I looked at my personal attribute and started to see what I can do better, what I have now. Okay, I have this situation, but I also have the other traits and, personality. So let me look into that. That's where I shifted my mind from complaint mind to a grateful mind. That's how I worked through my journey of a bit of disappointment, hatred, fear, and just feel hopeless. I felt hopeless when time to time when you're put into the procedure, time to time you're put into the needles. It just takes a toll on you, and that really hurt my physical body, my spiritual body, and everything else, mind. And along the way, there is few things also I practice as self-love. Despite the kind words, the grateful, I also chose to be positive. Of course, there's no environment positive around me at that moment. Because when they give you the result, it's everything is negative. And they just tell you, okay, this is what happened. We don't know what's happening to you. So if when you're put into a spot like that, even a doctors cannot explain your situation. You have this question mark: who else can tell me? You know, who else can help me? Eventually, if doctors doesn't know, definitely I can't get it done. So I went in search of um, social media, trying to meet people, trying to go into a support team. Nothing was just like linking to me. I even went and spoke to my doctor. I said, how come you don't have a support team for people like us? I mean, a result is a positive result is a great and blessings. But there are many people like me out there that might I will able to reach. So I didn't look at my shortcomings, but I looked more on how to stay positive. I was, when I go through that, people will just tell me, just be positive. So I will roll my eyes and think, oh my goodness, how to be positive? I feel like screaming, it's not easy. You don't have a clue what I'm going through. So that's what was keep on doing. But being positive is still the essential of self-love. It's very important being positive. I know the situation cannot be positive. There's always, I realize there's not sunshine and there's no more rainbows 24/7. But I know that it is the reality of it, accepting it and trying to overcome it and being positive. So I always felt that, uh, all right, what can I do? How can I overcome this? So there's another speaker who's supposed to be here, Veronica. She's a very good friend of mine. She told this to me: things will never always be the same. Just keep going. So she acknowledged my situation, and she know that it will get better. I mean, everything is like that. It won't be the same. It will pass. It will pass by. It will go through. So this too will pass. That's how my positive mind came into the picture. This too will pass. Whatever it is, like MCO at the moment, this too will pass. Definitely. There is no way it's not going to pass. So
Yeah.
that kind of positive feeling. Of course, it doesn't look beautiful at the moment with all this, even where I'm staying in Seremban, it's a lockdown, and more cases are coming up. And I just heard that, the biggest Jasco is closed down due to 17 cases extra, more cases came in. And so, but still I had this faith that we have, it will pass by. That's positiveness. That's how I looked at it, as positive. And also I started to be very intentional about how my thought process was, how I think. So every time I felt being intentional, meaning know what you think. Sometimes we tend to not to, we always try to brush off what we think. We brush off a lot of things in our head. So be intentional of my thought was the something very difficult. I something new for me. I know I'm not a psychology like Aruna yourself, but it's something that I thought, how am I going to do this? But every morning when I get up, I I quiet myself, and I think what I'm thinking. Like I listen to my thoughts. If it's not going to help me, change it. It's not getting me better anywhere, change it. And so it's always like I looked at my thought as an experiment. When you do experiment, if you can't do this, you do that. You can't do that, you do this. So when I looked at it as experiment, it made me more like, okay, I don't have to stick with the same thought. I can switch my thought. So when I feel that the thought is not going to help me for the day, I just switch it. Yeah. And it just, and it is a working process. I tell you, it's not easy with the condition I am, with the medication I am, you know with a lot of other things that I have to go through, that it's just consumes me, rather than I could come out of it. But that thought itself helped me a lot. The being intentional of what I think in every moment of my time, the 24 hours. If I feel that it's going to be a negative thoughts, then I try to just swipe it, like swipe the meal, healthy meal swap. I just swipe it. Oh no, it's not going to help me for today. I'm not going to be productive. I'm not going to be moving forward. So I just swipe it. And the last I do is I just be me, because all the time when I was in my 14 years of infertility, and I always try to be be happy, because I want to make others happy. But when you are going through a medical, sometimes you have to sit with people and you just don't want to sit there, you just don't want to be there. But you just got to be there because you have no choice, kind of thing. And you have to be the bubbly person, but you don't want to be the bubbly person. You are in pain. But you just have to, because you feel if you are sad, then the whole team is sad. That sort of mindset you had. Then I learned that that is not the way. Just be me. I am bubbly, and I am exciting when I'm with 101, even better when I know that person. But when I'm in a group, I'm a very conservative, very quiet person. So
Oh
if
my,
I'm going to change these two, it's going to make me look very different, probably miserable, along the way. So I was like thinking, I don't be myself. If I can't be there, excuse myself. If I can't be the best version of myself at that moment, I just don't have to be there. So, and I don't have to be someone else. I just have to be myself. And the right person at the right time will be always beside you. I always believe in that. So
fantastic.
that's
Yeah.
how I rearrange myself, and enhancing my thoughts, enhancing my emotions, and being attentive of what I go through. All this due to my background, due to my medical conditions. And at the moment now, I am doing my fitness. I went against all the doctors. I went against all the medications. I told myself, I want to do this. So I'm back again in fitness after 4 years of not able to. because I was restricted from doing it, and that is actually brought a lot of stress to my emotions and my body. So now I'm back again, and of course there are times if I want to go back to my procedure, of course there will I have to go through another cycle of holding myself back, but we will cross the bridge when the time comes. So for now I do what I want to do and give back to the society. So when now as a coach, I also help people with weight loss. I help people in emotions, and I was surprised people who have IVF is coming to me because I've never opened up about my IVF journey. And when I opened up, there were people coming back. They said, very seldom people opened up about that journey, because of the environment, because of the society, and how people look at us. So when I opened up, of course, one or two are still conservative. They don't speak. But when some text me personally, and I have even reached, these are cold market. People just come in and just tell me, you inspire me. I didn't know that people can go out and talk about this as a normal conversation. It took a longer time for me to do what I'm doing now. It's not a bed of roses, actually.
I think I definitely believe that our viewers or our listeners have a lot of information from you. It's like it's a journey. Like we are just following your journey as well. It's like as you mentioned, like there's not bed and roses as well. And believe me, that you've been doing everything that what a psychologist or a practitioners or a counselor will come and tell you to do. You've been done everything. That's the whole day. Like understanding yourself is the one most. I believe that's a key point when we are trying to fit in others people's shoes, try to fit in our own shoes, getting our own feeling corrected. And it doesn't need to be positive all the time. Sometimes you can be negative. I always say to my active athlete as well, sometimes you don't feel that it's a good day, just lie on your bed. How much longer can you lie? Can you lie about 24 hours and feeling sad all the time? I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad. You can't. The most I can do is like 15 minutes because now you're paying attention to your sadness or your unhappy moment. But that's the most you can do, 15 minutes. I even bet with my athletes, like if you can do it for the whole day, I'll pay you. Be sad for the whole day, like technically be sad. Nobody come back to me and say that no, I can't be sad for the whole day. So that's the truth, that we can't be like completely in one emotion at the whole time. But the whole idea is like we don't feel good about it and then we carry for the whole day. We forget that there's a happiness in between, but we don't pay attention to the happiness. So I think what you've been doing and then what you have been going through and all the passions and all the ideas and what the perseverance that we want to keep pushing. I know you are being inspired to many, actually. I believe, like might some try for many years and then they might drop off in the betweens, and then they go through. I believe this is not an easy thing, and anyone can say it. Every people, neighbors, and everyone can voice it up, but this is something that is very personal. I believe that that's very personal, and I hope that our culture also are growing together to understand that this is it's a normal, it's a medical terms that some might have, some might don't have. So don't get generalized on that. But I have an interesting question. Since how much do you think that exercise, like you're in the fitness industry, how much does it help you for you to being to go through your daily life and everything? Since you're in the fitness industry, right? How much do you think that those having this kind of conditions or anything to do with a medical condition, how much exercise can help them?
um like for myself, I would suggest, exercise is something like mind over body, you know so when you are there, you of course you have muscle aches, you have the whole body, you have everything. Physically you are challenged. So when you're physically challenged, you know that you can be challenged mentally as well. So if you can push through that one set, you can push through that one rep, you can even push through in your mind also. You will always, I looked at it like body and mind and spirit are three things that have to be balanced,
Mhm.
and they are interlinked to each other. So if you are working on your body, whatever pain exact thing you're working on your mind, whatever the pain, the exhaustion, the the aches is not only on body, it's even in the mind, even in the spirit. So that's how I look at it. So when you push that one rep, that's how what I did. That one rep, I can push my mind as well to that one rep. That means from being the negative, I can push it towards the positive, and even better than that. So every day is a better version of yourself, not anyone else. Just yourself. One day at a
One day at a time, again, one day at a time. That's a mantra for our topic today, I guess. One day at a time, one thing is at a time as well.
time.
So I believe, like, since I'm also an Indian, and I believe that not many from our communities, like, are coming out to the fitness industries. So what's your take, since you're already in the industries and you're being practitioners by yourself and everything? What's your takes? I'm not going to be stereotypes or nothing on that part. I'm just like out of curiosities, like, saying that how much really willing to take this kind of as a serious career pathway, or even being a serious practitioner, or even an exerciser. What's
Yeah.
your take on that?
For me, is like fitness is for everybody. Is the awareness that it's lacking, because I wouldn't discriminate anyone at any point of thing. It's just that if you have to be the one that changes the whole society, why not? uh, so it's not like one is better and another. I always feel that if I the one who has to make the change, I will make the change, be the change. So it's not too late for our society to go out and explore and look at it. Because I agree with you, as a dance fitness instructor, I see myself and my master trainer, the Indians community. So but I always feel that it's okay. Maybe because we were not in exposed, they are not just exposed. The moment we expose, we can see the brighter side of everyone. You can see they like a tree, they grow. So it's just that awareness, that and now is the best time with the social media. It's so fast. That's why I like to be on the social media. I love the social media now, not only because of all the fun thing, but because of the awareness that we can reach out to one person by not just seeing them face to face. It's like you might reach out to a person which is way far, miles away from you, and it's in a split of second. You can speak to them.
We have a best example next to our next speaker. She's from far away. She's waiting patiently. So, she might even say about this, like, why social media can be very fantastic to everyone in their own home and now everything. So, thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you.
I
Thank you for
believe that
having
you
me.
have really give a lot of insights to our listeners, and even for us, and for me personally as well. Like, every conditions have their way of making things happen. You just need to believe in yourself, and then make through that thing. And whatever self-care or self-love that you've been using, fit your own shoes, and then just get going with whatever you use. Not necessary that writing journal will help you. Choose something else. Listen to music, whatever that it's your preference. So that's the one another things. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
again today.
Thank
I
you for
think,
having me.
yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I pass it back to Rita.